Anti-surge control valve is one of the most critical valve of any refinery or petrochemical setup. In this particular video, we'll be discussing about few tips and tricks for the sizing and selection of anti-surge control valve. When we are doing the engineering of anti-surge control valve, there are many issues we normally face. In this particular video, we'll try to solve all these issues and discuss about a few thumb rules that can help you in designing your anti-surge control valve. So let's begin. So first, there are these 5 parameters which we need to look at while we will be doing the selection and sizing of the control valve. Number 1 is stroking time. Number 2 is the location of the control valve, where we want to locate the valve. Third is characteristics, whether equal percentage, linear or quick opening. Fourth is actuator type, and fifth is size of the control valve. So first we will be discussing about the stroking time of the control valve. So normal thumb rule is to keep the stroking time less than 2 seconds. This means that when we give a step input to the valve should open within the 2 seconds. Now, for a good design, the time for the opening and closing should match. I mean that if the opening time is 2 seconds, the closing time should be near to 2 seconds, or at max it can be 3 seconds. But if the opening time is very less compared to the closing time, that may result in oscillation in the control loop, or the proper tuning in such cases is not possible. So it is always avoided to have a very different stroking time for opening and closing. So how we can really achieve the good stroking time? This can be with the help of a volume booster, or we can also reduce the tube length. Now, there are various volume boosters available in the market, like Fisher 2625. We can install it. So if it is a pneumatic diaphragm or a single acting piston actuated valves, then we can use one volume booster. On the other hand, if there is a double acting piston actuated valve, then we can use two volume boosters. So here we prefer volume booster instead of quick exhaust relay, because in case of the quick exhaust relay, what happens if we use the quick exhaust relay or quick exhaust valve, what happens that the opening stroke time becomes less, but the closing times remains the same. But that eventually results in a bad tuning of the loop. So dynamic response of the loop becomes not proper. So it is always advisable, at least for the anti-surge control system, to use volume booster, which regulates both the uh, opening and closing time of the valve, right, instead of using quick exhaust valve, which only reduces the opening time. So location of the anti-surge control valve is also very important. So while locating the control valve, we should note that the thumb rule is to keep the volume between the discharge flange of the compressor and the valve as minimum. So we can consider this portion as the volume of the fluid. So this volume we want to keep it minimum. So eventually we want to keep the valve as close as possible to the discharge flange. Also, it is to be noted that it is normal practice to keep the anti-surge valve at the upstream of this check valve. So this is the check valve, and this is the anti-surge valve. So this is kept at the upstream. So this is a normal philosophy that has been followed. And also, if there is a requirement of cooler, so cooler can be located at the downstream of the anti-surge control valve, so that the moistures and the liquid uh, does not damage the valve, right? So And for the protection of the compressor, there is a knockout drum that is after the suction line it is there. So this knockout drum, if there is a moisture, it will accumulate there, and this will protect the compressor, right? So it is advisable to put the anti-surge valve before the cooler. So this is another thing. So this is the uh, two thumb rule about locating the anti-surge valve. There are many others, but in this particular video we will be highlighting the major points. We can dig deeper in some future courses or future lectures, or if you have some queries you can raise in the comment box, or you can ask me over the mail. So characteristics of the control valve. So unlike any other control valve, the three characteristics here are possible. One is quick opening, another is linear, and third is equal percentage. Obviously linear is the preferred choice because the linear gain over its whole range. So linear valves are obviously preferred. And equal percentage valve, what happens, their gain is basically less at the beginning. In this area the gain is less, so we get a sluggish response at the lower opening of the valve. On the other hand, in the quick opening valve there is a high gain at the lower end, so this may result in tuning issues. So it is always preferred that we use linear valves. There are cases basically where a large volume of gases needs to be released. In that case, bilinear trim can be used. So where 4 to 20 billion signal, the valve will open, and when the compressor trips, the another portion of the valve will open, so resulting in the larger exhaust of gas, right? Now regarding the sizing, this is basically a very huge discussion point for the anti-surge control valve, and we will not be discussing all of the points here. So if it is required, we will have another session, but we need to keep 2 points here in mind, that while we are designing the valve should be sufficient that it will it, it will not allow the compressor to surge. That means it will so if this is a compressor and your anti-surge valve is located here, the valve should be sufficient enough. So if I draw it again, so this is so so if this is the valve should be sufficient enough that it can recirculate the whole flow through it, right? But at the same time it should not be oversized so that it cannot be able to control the flow at the normal condition. So normally what happens that we get the performance curve from the compressor. So from the performance curve, whatever the maximum flow is there, so depending on the maximum flow, we normally multiply it by 2.5 times to 3.5 times, depending on the situation or depending on the volume between the compressor discharge piping or compressor discharge flange to the valve, how much gas is content within this space. So depending on that we can do the sizing. So hope you have understood something about the selection and sizing of the control valve, and we will in the later we will discuss in more detail about the selection of and sizing of anti-surge control valve. Thank you.